here's Sonia Sullivan.
Sonia!
On video.
For the athlete competing at high level all their lives, to give all of that up is a very, very difficult thing to do. I'm never going to win an Olympic medal, a World Championship medal, a European Championship medal again, so I'm going to let go.
That's what's been going on, I suppose, the past few years, is just looking for that storybook ending, and I don't know, I haven't quite found it yet.
You would never guess that here was a woman who had kind of faced up to the most pressurized situation that you could find in sport.
But what I do remember is the awfulness of it all, where she was fancied to win her first event and was blown away by 3 completely unknown Chinese who subsequently turned out not to have been playing by the rules. And she finished 4th, and she was in tears, and rightly so.
That would have soured many young people of her age group and possibly turned them off athletics.
I think maybe if I tried to just win the race, then it might have worked out okay. But because I wanted to make sure I won it and win it by a long way, then I just tried too hard to be way better than everybody else rather than just be a little bit better.
And at times, some of the things that was said, written, and we all know like that she was written off.
You lose kind of all the mental energy and positive energy that you need to compete and to run well.
When things did not go right for Sonia, that toughness melted away, and all of a sudden the soft, emotional personality with floods of tears after events.
It's the Olympic Games and the flame is burning, so I just couldn't leave the track before the finish line.
It's obviously a very emotional time for Sonia, and I accept it's the heart, I think, of a nation goes out to you.
Wow. I asked Sonia a few minutes ago, which is more nerve-wracking, this or an Olympic final? And she said this. She actually said, could she sing and dance instead of... She said, don't ask me any questions. Bit late now. Sonia, we got 7 minutes. And we've had an amazing day so far, haven't we? And we've been waiting for this day for so long. We got St. Mary's and Ace over there. And we've got Borris-O'Kane back there. And we've got Wexford over here. And we've got Leinster somewhere. Where's Leinster? But we're going to take it down a little bit for a couple of minutes. Is that okay? Can we... I've asked Sonia to do something for us today. I've asked her to maybe reach inside her somewhere where she's never been asked about before and she's never spoken about before. Would that be okay with you? So if it's okay with that 4,000, is it okay with you?
Yes, I suppose I can I'll ask whatever question you ask me.
Okay.
Answer.
So, 3 races. In 1996, in Athens, in the Olympic final, you didn't finish the race. But not only did you not finish the race, but you just ran out of the stadium and you ran 6 miles on your own from an Olympic final to your apartment. So that day in the stadium, you put on your runners, you tied your laces. You never thought that you were going to be untying those laces back in your apartment after running home. Those 6 miles, what were you feeling and what were you thinking?
I think I was looking for an answer to what I thought all the questions that everybody was asking. And I think I always thought I was looking for an answer for the journalists and the TV and the radio stations who you have to pass through this little tunnel after the race and you're faced with the media and you have to have the answers, and I didn't have any answers. And I thought I was looking for answers for the people who were supporting me, people who were, wanted to know, why did I not win the race? Why did I not finish the race? But I think on that run home, what I really found out was the answer for myself. And I wanted to know for myself why I didn't finish that race. Because it was just one of those anomalies, something that I had never done before, something that you would always tell someone not to do, because if you don't finish the race once, then it's so much easier not to finish it again.
So that Olympic Games, 1996, one of the quotes of the entire game. So how many people here were born in 1996? That's a couple of teachers. And Jack, is that Jack Crean? Look at, stand up, Jack. How did I spot you amongst 4,000 people? Give him a big shout there. There's Jack Crean from Kilkenny. Tipperary. So imagine this, guys, right? There's an Olympic Games, and I'm standing beside somebody who's 6 months older than me, just to let you know. But she's the best athlete Ireland's ever produced. And I remember watching those games, and we all had such high expectations because you were the fastest athlete in the world that year. And you left the stadium, and your dad had to face the media. And what did he say?
He said, nobody died. And I didn't notice at the time, but I was told about it later on. I saw it on TV later on, and I think that was the answer, that was the perfect answer at the time, because everybody was acting as if it was the end of the world, that somebody had died, because there was so much expectation out there. And he's just summed it up in, those few words that just kind of made so much sense to everybody, that, okay, she didn't win the race, she didn't finish the race, but we're all going to get up tomorrow and we're all going to continue on with our lives. And I suppose at the time I wish he had said that to me because when I got up the next morning, it wasn't easy, and it was like as if, what do you do from here, And I suppose looking back now, it makes so much more sense to me. And I can look back now and I can be so much more, I suppose, rational about what happened back then. Rational about, so many other things that come up in my life, when you have good days and bad days. You just look at it and you weigh things up so much more rationally now, because just because something goes wrong and it doesn't go right and your expectations are way up there, that, it really, you can make up for it, but you have to take your time. You can't rush to make up for it, which I think is what I tried to do, because the answer I came up with on that run home was that I was going to go back out on the track the next day and run 1,500 meters. And, anyone in their right mind wouldn't have done that. So I obviously wasn't, because you have to be right and you have to be thinking right to be able to go out there and to do the best that you can and to be able to perform at the highest level. And I wasn't ready for it, but I couldn't talk myself out of it, and nobody around me was strong enough to stop me, because they just said I had to go through with this and just, I suppose, find out for myself that, you're not going to stop after race 1, but you're definitely going to stop after race 2.
So just to fast forward 4 years, it's Sydney, it's the Olympic final, and you get a silver medal. So 14 years later, it's still that reaction. And yet, the first time we met, you happened to have the Olympic medal stuck in the back of your car somewhere in a plastic bag from Lidl. It wasn't even like a Dunnes Stores or a Tesco bag, It was a little bag. And you kind of still think about it as, yeah, it was above the acceptable standard, I think was the term you used. This drive for, being first, where are you in your head with that now?
I'm quite happy now. I think, at the time when I crossed the finish line, finishing second, there was definitely a question that I asked myself, and that was, are you happy or not? And, I suppose for everyone around me, for my coaches, my family, my friends, the supporters, yes, I was happy. But maybe deep down inside me, I thought, oh, why could I not have got one more step ahead of that girl from Romania? And,
what's her name?
Gabriela Zaba.
Sorry.
We'll never forget her name. I watched a video of it the other day. I was at a chat down in Google down the road, and I don't know, I thought they did something to the video because it looked like I got a little bit closer. So I thought maybe we keep watching this and keep changing it. One day I'll just pass her by. But no, I can look back now and I think, to have an Olympic medal is the greatest thing, that I did. It took me 12 years to achieve that. 12 years of ups and downs, persistence, patience, and hard work. But it was all worthwhile, and it just makes me appreciate, I suppose, everything else so much more, because when you get knocked down and you get the worst possible result, than to get something that is nearly the best possible result. Like, that's pretty good, I suppose. It's as close as you can get.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I guess just finally, another 4 years goes by, and you're in Atlanta, and actually Sonia thought Athens, and Sonia thought until this morning there was 14 people in the race, and you came 13th, and there's actually 15 people in the race, and you came 14th. Sorry, but that day when you came 14th, and again you were entering those races, you know, fastest runner in the world, huge expectations, but you were lapped by the winner. But it was different, wasn't it? It was different this time. You crossed the line, but it felt different for you as well?
Yeah, I think the most important thing for me that day was to finish the race, because I knew what it was like not to finish the race. And it's a bit like you don't really get the completion of what you started doing. And even though I was disappointed and I was unhappy, I was running around the track. I'd been lapped by the leaders of the race, and each time I came around, there was people in the stands who'd come down really close to the fence, and they were cheering me on, Irish people, you know. And this, for the first time ever, I felt like I really made a connection with the people who would travel all over the world to support me. And I felt like I owe this. This is my payback time here now. This is payback for Atlanta in 1996. This is where I can complete my Olympic journey. And I didn't know it at the time that this was going to be my last ever Olympic race. You know, I thought it was going to go on forever. I never thought that I wouldn't qualify for an Olympic Games. So, I don't know, there must have been something deep inside me that made me finish that race and made me appreciate the support of the people who had come from Ireland and who refused to leave the stadium until I crossed the finish line. And, you know, Ronnie Delaney, he's said to me, he said, you know, that's the true Olympic spirit. You go out there, you compete, and you take part. And, you know, you don't win the gold medal, but you get to the finish line. And that's all we ask of anybody, is that you know, you try your hardest, you do your best, and you complete what you start to do.
I get the gift of getting to meet like amazing people, and even this morning, right? Brizzy was phenomenal. Seamus Hennessy was golden. Conor Cusack, Keegan Ford, all of the amazing people that have performed and spoken here today. And I get the gift of getting to meet all those people. You, Sonia Sullivan, are one of the most humble people I've ever met. You know, for all of the accolades that are thrown at you, you are the epitome of somebody who's got their ego in check and somebody's got that humility. Can I ask you one final question? Because you're 6 months older than me, it's probably harder for you to do this.
So
but if you were to,
I know more than you then.
yes, 6 months more. But if you were to go back to when you were 16, 17, 18, what would the advice be that you would give yourself? The one piece of advice that you'd sit down with Sonia Sullivan, aged that age and say, I want you to listen to me, I want you to pay attention, because here's something I'm going to tell you.
I think be patient and to really take your time making decisions and to ask advice of people. You know, don't just make rash decisions because you think it's the right thing to do. I think it's really important to ask other people to help you to make the right decisions. You know, it's okay to make mistakes every now and then, as long as you learn from your mistakes. But if you can make fewer mistakes because somebody has questioned you about what you think is the right thing, because we all think we're right, but we need the opinions of others to really, I suppose, direct us in the right way and to make us feel confident and believe in the decisions that we make.
Super. Ladies and gentlemen. Well done. Would you like to see 60 seconds of video of Sonia kicking ass? Okay, Willie, let's show this video, and thank you so much, Sonia Sullivan. Thanks, guys.
I was just thinking about getting a medal no matter what. I said, I've got to at least get one medal.
Sonia Sullivan has become a national institution.
She has proven herself to be the greatest Irish athlete ever.
Ireland was on a roller coaster ride with Sonia.
It's quite possible that the whole Western world may never see someone who can do what Sonia has done.
The inspiration to know that a small country can produce world champions is fantastic.
Gold and silver from world and European competition.
She just keeps bouncing back, you know, it's just incredible.
And the Olympics.
By world standards, she was an extraordinarily good athlete.
Because she's got that burning desire.
In an Irish context, she was simply iconic.